Alright, Grim Gaming here with a walkthrough of Resident Evil Remake Remastered, or HD Remastered. And this is just a speed run, like a full-on like walkthrough on how to do the speed run and how to complete it under 3 hours. So it's pretty easy. One thing is you got to skip all the videos because the timer's still going for the videos, so you still have to skip them. There's no getting around it unless you have a mod, but forget all that. So what you're going to want to do is unequip everything. You want to run with nothing in your hand, no weapon. You can run with a knife. A knife and no gun is the exact same speed, but you don't really need to carry around a knife because honestly, you're not going to be shooting anybody or, in fact, stabbing anybody who waste less time shooting somebody than you would stabbing them, so just don't even bother with that. What you're going to do is here, this is pretty straightforward. You just want to go through this front area, or this first part, just as fast as you can because it's just a lot of quick videos, just the starting. So once you get all that done, it's pretty easy. Like here, all you're going to want to do is run up these stairs and run right back down. Now, the reason here I don't stair skate is because I am playing it on PC, and I use the keyboard and mouse. Now, I could easily plug in my Xbox One controller and use that, but I find that, a keyboard and mouse works perfectly fine. It doesn't bother me, so that's what I use. And the stair skating, yeah, it's a bit faster, and maybe all together if you stair skate every single staircase in the game, you're maybe going to save like a minute or two at the very most. Like, you're not going to save record timing by stair skating. You're really not. Like, now some people might get mad saying, oh, it's a lot faster, but to me, I've done it tons of times and it hasn't really proven anything for me that's faster or it helps you or benefits you in any real way, except for a minute or two off, but big deal. So you just get right along here. The first part's pretty boring because you're just basically running to the first couple items you need, and that's pretty boring to talk about, so that's why I'm kind of going on about random shit like stair skating, but whatever. So right here, you're just going to want to grab this arrow, and go through these as fast as you can. You don't want to watch or read anything. Now you want to just go back and forth till you get them to lunge. If you get them to lunge, you can just run right past them. As long as like their first bit of lunging doesn't actually grab you, you're fine. You can run right up against them and they won't grab you. Now, for the defensive items, I'd say grab them pretty much every time you can. If you have to go out of your way to get it, don't get it. But if you're running right past it like I was right there, just pick it up because it'll benefit you way more, because if you do get grabbed, you can easily stab them and not take any damage, because if you do take damage, it tends to really fuck you up in this, and this is on normal, by the way. So it's a lot better to just have them, because if you do get bitten once, sometimes even twice, depending on the zombies, you can die. And the one thing is you don't want to die, because chances are if you do save, you're not gonna be that close to where you died, unless you died right away. But the odds of that is pretty slim, because honestly, you shouldn't die. There's not a lot of enemies you have to fight, and as long as you can make it around the corners and not get grabbed all the time, you'll take like next to no damage. So that's one of the things you gotta just basically keep in mind, is you're not going to be killing anything except for like bosses and enemies that you have to kill. So with that being said, right here, you're going to need this key. It's a mansion key. See, this beginning part's pretty boring. You just pretty much just walking through the whole beginning part, just picking up keys and watching stupid videos and having to read stupid books. But you skip through all the videos, you skip through all the books and everything you have to read, and you should be fine. And right here, like with the stair skating, like you can do it. It's up to you. All you do is you keep tapping the run button. You have to have the old tank controls on. And this is the one part where I got screwed. Because if you run around, sometimes you can hug the back wall, the wall on her right there, and he won't grab you. But in that case, he was like just directly in the middle. There was no getting around him, and that's why you have a defensive item. If you have those, it'll save you there, because if you get bitten, there's a high percentage of you like getting hurt and put into critical, and you're holding your chest, and that really slows down your running. So that's your main concern, is you don't want to take damage, because it'll slow down your running, and the slower you run, the longer it takes for you to get through the game. That's the reason why you don't carry anything, so you can run faster. So you just make sure if you have defensive items, try and keep them, because getting bit really doesn't help you at all. And right here, you're just going to run through here. It's pretty simple. You see the windows are breaking. Dogs usually jump through, but this is the only time we have to come through here. So we won't have to worry about the dogs. Now you can run through back there when you come back through the mansion. But it all depends on which route you take. No, I won't be taking that route. So we won't even worry about that. So you're just going to come right out here, and you're going to grab the fertilizer for the plant room, because in order to leave the mansion here, we need to get the 4 death masks. So, we're just picking up the items for that. Like I said, this beginning part's really not that interesting. Just running around and grabbing all the bare minimum items you need to just get out of the mansion, because to the first part of the mansion really only takes you, hell, I don't know, 15-20 minutes to pick up all the items and get out. So yeah, it's not that bad. So right here, we're just running into the save room because you want to drop off your knife, and I'm personally going to save it up here just so I don't have to run through all that beginning part if anything does happen, because as you see, I get bitten there, and that's just ridiculous. And I didn't have a defensive item, so it sucks. So I'm going to leave it off with this one and come back for part 2 and continue the speedrun. Like, comment, and subscribe.